Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Welcome to another F1 team predictions video. Today is Force India. They came off a fantastic 2017. I think it was a record season, wasn't it? Scoring the most points they have ever done. Two fantastic drivers going into this season as well. But the problem is, I think it's going to be a really close mid-pack. So what do you guys think? Force India, can they battle for podiums this year? Or are they going to be sort of pushed back a little bit? Behind Renault? Behind McLaren? Behind anyone else? Leave your comments down below. This could be a good one for Force India, but it could also go the other way. They may struggle. So let's start off with Sergio Perez. I think for the last couple of seasons he's been one of the only drivers apart from the big teams. I think he might be the only driver in fact, except from those big six drivers obviously in the big three teams. I think he's the only one to score over 100 points in consistent seasons. So obviously Perez has shown over the last couple of years how fantastic he is. Just Mr. Consistent really, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see whether he can maintain that over this year as well. Of course, Sergio Perez had a good run of sort of podiums over the last couple of years. He scored pretty, I think it's pretty much since every year, maybe except 2013, he's sort of got a podium since 2012, where obviously he sort of shone for Sauber. So Sergio Perez, what's going to happen with him this year? Of course, he's got Esteban Ocon as a teammate who's sort of proving to everyone what a fantastic driver he is. Probably in line for that Mercedes seat, possibly, if they get out Bottas. We'll see what happens with that, but we don't need to talk about that just yet. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good season for Sergio Perez once again. He's, I don't know, I feel like he's probably seen the rise of Ocon, and that could sort of slightly disrupt him somewhat. And of course we saw lots of on-track battles between the two of them last year, which often ended in disaster. So it's just, I don't know, a bit of a worry if that might happen a little bit more this season. Of course they all said that this has sort of been calmed down and they're not going to be having this problem again next year. But there's always that sort of worry that it could happen again. And you don't want it to happen. You really don't want it to happen in Formula 1. You don't want to see teammates crashing into each other. But of course there is that worry, as they are close to each other like all the time. There's that worry that it could happen once again. But Sergio Perez, as I said, he's been Mr. Consistent the last couple of years, but for 2018 I've actually got him down to sort of drop down the grid a little bit. Now this could be completely wrong, like I've just thrown it out there as a suggestion. I feel like he'll still be very consistent, but I feel like there's a couple of teams that are coming up the grid a little bit more which might push him aside, and having raw speed that Ocon seems to have over Sergio Perez might mean that Perez, even though he's still going to be super consistent, could drop down the driver's standings a bit. So this could be completely wrong, and now thinking about it, now looking at it, I feel like this is completely wrong. I put Sergio Perez to finish 12th place in the championship, which is obviously a bit of a drop from the 7th place that he's been finishing the last couple of seasons. But I feel like there are drivers, including his teammate Esteban Ocon, who will beat him this year. Ocon was in his first season of Formula 1 last year and nearly matched him for points, so I'm slightly worried for Sergio Perez in terms of the driver standings. I feel like he might drop down quite a few positions this year and might actually end out outside the top 10. It's quite a big one. I don't think he's a bad driver in any way whatsoever. It's more that other teams, maybe with better cars, come through and, you know, pip him in the standings, but I also think his teammate Ocon will beat him in the standings, which we'll get into right now. So for a first full season in Formula 1, I don't think it could have gone much better for Esteban Ocon. I know he was sort of aiming for a podium throughout the 2017 season, which he didn't quite manage to get. He was close on quite a few occasions, but he didn't quite get that podium throughout the whole season. But yeah, one of the most fantastic sort of rookie seasons I've seen in quite a long time actually. I think he doesn't get enough credit, I guess, really, for how good he actually was in the 2017 season, especially, you know, how good his teammate is. Sergio Perez is a fantastic driver, and to get so close to him, and actually in the last couple of races be beating him quite solidly on some occasions, I think it says a lot about him as a driver. So Esteban Ocon, I feel like he's going to be very, very good this year, but with the rise of other teams, I feel like he might actually lose a position in the driver's standing. So I've got Esteban Ocon to finish 9th place in the standings. Now that's not because I think he's going to be a worse driver this year. Of course, generally, when a driver is sort of progressing through the ranks, he becomes a better and better driver each season. Not always the case, but it generally is the case that drivers get better each year. But I feel like there's two cars and two teams that could possibly be out there to sort of start beating them next year, and that's the McLaren and the Renault, which we'll talk about in some future videos. So I think it might be unlikely to see Ocon secure another 8th place in the driver's standings once again. So that's a slight disappointment for him, but I feel like it's going to be a very close midfield. I feel like McLaren, Renault, and also Force India, or whatever they're going to be called, whether they're changing names or not, I don't really know. I feel like there's a chance that they could all be battling for a podium at some point. But I feel like Force India might actually end up slipping down the order a little bit this year. And they might end up behind both of Renault and McLaren. In theory they should, because they've got much less of a budget. But I feel like reality might set in, and unfortunately they might drop down this year. But they've sort of surprised us every year since their conception, really. Force India have always been proving people wrong, including myself. Even as a fan of Force India, they've been proving me wrong and going better and better and better. So who knows what's next for them? Could they realistically challenge Red Bull? Probably not. Can they realistically get podiums? Probably. They've got podiums in the past. Of course, some of them were by fluke, but in a lot of occasions, it's down to good strategy, good teamwork, and just to having, you know, two good drivers. And they've sort of worked through that the last couple of years. Obviously, having Ocon and Perez now is just a fantastic team, especially for someone a team that doesn't really have a massive budget. That's a fantastic lineup. So yeah, I think Force India will struggle to beat a couple of teams this year, but in general, I think their consistency will shine through. I put them to finish 5th place in the Constructors' Championship, and we'll talk about other teams in the next couple of episodes, because I don't want to give it away, I don't want to surprise everyone. But so far I put Red Bull to be Constructors' Champions, which, yeah, it already sounds stupid, it's probably not going to happen. Then Mercedes to finish P2, and then Ferrari to finish P3, and then we got Force India in P5. So maybe you guys can leave your predictions down below. Who's going to be in P4? Who's going to be in P6 around them? You probably know already, because I've literally said it in this video, but leave your comments down below. I do think this dynamic in the midfield is going to be a massive sort of role this season. I mean, I feel like that we'll have a good championship battle, but in reality, I feel like Renault, McLaren, and Force India, and possibly Williams could be very, very close this year in the midfield. Of course, it's going to be track dependent, as it normally is, about which one sort of shines through, but I think it's going to be a fantastic battle in the midfield, as it was actually in 2017. To be fair, there were quite close battles out on track. Of course, Force India over the season were much better than the rest of the teams, but in general, we had some really good battles in the midfield last year. I think Renault and McLaren for sure will improve, and they should definitely be challenging Force India for the 4th place in the constructor spot, and I feel like one of them will beat them. You guys will see in the video soon which one I think that is. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please remember to drop a thumbs up on the video. That's massively appreciated. I know that some of these videos aren't getting really through to the sub boxes, which really sucks. It's nothing down to you guys, but I've actually seen it myself. YouTube has changed the layout of the main screen, a subscriptions page, and it's just completely messed it up, which really sucks. And it means obviously the views have gone down, which sucks, because I just want to get you guys you know, in on the opinions, the thoughts, and of course if YouTube is messing it up for everyone, it kind of sucks, because we just want to get opinions, we want to get thoughts, and unfortunately it's just not going to happen as much if we have a bad YouTube layout, which is, I think, more than half, you know, cut the views in half, which really sucks. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Sorry to end on a bit of a bad note, but it's just my frustration with YouTube changing its layout, and yeah, it really has hit the views quite hard. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Nonetheless, you guys are awesome as always. So you leave your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.